Hey guys, I am Abhijit and today I am presenting the fourth episode of Basics of Medical Science. In the last episode, I covered the connective tissue, and in this episode, I shall be covering blood, one of the very important connective tissues. Blood is a fluid connective tissue, and this is made up of blood cells or corpuscles and the intercellular fluid matrix which are known as plasma. Blood absorbs oxygen from the lung and transports it to the different tissues. Moreover, it also collects the waste product like carbon dioxide from the tissue and takes it back to the lung. The hormone secreted by the endocrine glands are also transported by the blood to the target organs and tissues. If we keep blood in a test tube and keep it aside for some time, we'll see all the blood cells are accumulated at the bottom of the cells, and that occupies around 45% of the volume. There are three different types of blood cells. They are known as WBC or leukocyte, RBC or erythrocyte, platelet or thrombocyte. Now a liquid that is known as plasma that will be there in the upper portion of the test tube, and that occupies around 55% of the volume. They are pale yellow in color and consist of protein, salt, nutrients, water, enzyme, hormone, urea and uric acid, etc. So in summary, blood can be divided as per volume into 45% and 55%, and 45% occupies the cell, that is the leukocyte, erythrocyte and thrombocyte, and 55% of the blood is plasma, which contains water, protein, salt, glucose, fat, urea, uric acid, amino acid, gases, hormones and enzyme. Now, blood has got three types of cells, as we already know. So WBC, which are also known as leukocyte. In Greek, leuko means white and cyte means cell, thereby it is known as the white blood cells. And WBCs mainly contribute to the immunity and defense mechanism. RBCs are known as the erythrocyte, and erythro means the red and cyte means cell. So RBC contain the iron rich protein which is also called hemoglobin. RBCs are produced in the bone marrow and their main function is to transport oxygen. Platelets are also called thrombocytes. The thrombus means clot and cyte means cells. So thereby they are the clot forming cell of the blood. They are produced into the bone marrow. Now, white blood cells are of 5 different types depending upon the presence or absence of granules into their cytoplasm. The WBC can be classified as granulocyte or agranulocyte. Now, basophil, eosinophil, neutrophil, these are the three kinds of granulocyte which does not have any granule, which has granule into their cytoplasm. And agranulocytes are monocytes and lymphocyte which has no granule into their cytoplasm. Now, all these granulocyte and agranulocyte can be remembered with the help of an acronym BANE-ML, whereas BANE represent basophil, eosinophil, neutrophil and they are granulocytes, and ML represents the monocyte and lymphocyte, they are the agranulocyte. Now let us look at the function of the all types of WBC. Basophils are involved into the non-specific immune response. Eosinophil are not the function of the eosinophil are not specifically known, and the level increases during the time of allergy, asthma or worm infestation. Neutrophils are involved into the phagocytosis. Phagos means eating, cyte means cell, so that thereby neutrophils are involved into the eating of cell, that is the foreign cell or the bacterial cell. Monocytes are also involved into the phagocytosis, but they are involved into the late phase of an infection. Lymphocytes are responsible for the production of the antibodies, and there are two types of lymphocyte, B lymphocyte and T lymphocyte. B lymphocyte produces antibodies and T lymphocyte are the helper cell or the informer cell. So these are the 5 different kinds of WBC, that is basophil, eosinophil, neutrophil, monocyte and lymphocyte. Now coming to red blood cells, they are also called erythrocyte because they contain iron containing pigment, that is hemoglobin. They are formed and released by the red bone marrow of flat and long bones. Hemoglobin is the carrier of oxygen in the blood. Hemoglobin usually survive for 120 days and they break down in the spleen. After breakdown, iron is stored in the liver and reutilized during the production of hemoglobin, and protein is excreted from our body. The function of RBC is to transport the gases like oxygen and carbon dioxide. Now coming to hemoglobin, this is what is the pictorial depiction of the hemoglobin. And the last type of blood cells, that is the platelet. Platelet or thrombocytes are the clot forming cells in the blood. Platelets are highly fragile and they break down and they release one enzyme that is known as thrombokinase. This thrombokinase, in the presence of calcium ion in the blood, converts the prothrombin to thrombin. Now thrombin acts on the fibrinogen and they converts this water soluble fibrinogen, which is a plasma protein, to a non-soluble fibrin network. A clot is a fibrin network under which all blood cells are trapped. Plasma contains 90% water and it has 8% protein. Moreover, plasma contains the salt, glucose, fats, urea, uric acid, amino acids, hormone, enzyme, blood and different blood gases like oxygen, carbon dioxide and nitrogen, etc. There are many plasma protein. Some of them are albumin, globulin, prothrombin and fibrinogen. Albumin and globulin maintains the osmotic pressure of the blood and thereby maintain the blood volume and transport the material from the blood to the tissues. We already discussed about plasma, that it occupies 55% of the blood volume. So thank you very much for your attention. I am signing out till we meet in the next episode.